find disorder is making the path of the dude become hazy. A silver oil intercept overcasing pupils where solely reflecting the same theme. Even if we stumble, even if we are in youth, let's take off making the mind over wings. In a faraway place where not even our voice can give, we are solely looking up at the same sky. No, I can't finally feel it upon me again. We will meet again. I don't ever need a reason. When through a tempting hearts become closer, they will illuminate the path of you. As the yellowest silver oils beast overseas, let's make a note to the blood dripping from our wounds. Even if we inflict pain, even if we inflict injury, we will not let go of our bond. Overacting hearts are melting into one, and gradually open up the path of truth. A silver oils intercept overcasing pupils, where solely reflecting the same theme. The silver oils beast overflowing, those in overpursued, no begins to us over your misplaced. Even if we inflict pain, even if we become lost and inflicting joy, we will not let go of our bond. So even if we stumble, even if we are whole, let's take off making the mind of a wings. The shining wings titled and by the sun will sketch a day of life in the sky. following. Det älskas min väg we saw so far as we're looking up at the same sky. The dogs hiding in overcessed are overflowing. The soul in the sky and down into silvery isles. Over pain of loving April to find this other is making the path of dude become hazy as silver isles in the sea overcasing pupils where slowly reflecting the same theme. Even if we stumble, even if we are in youth, let's take off making the mind of a wings. In a faraway place where not even our voice can give, we are solely looking up at the same sky. No, I can't finally feel it upon me again. We will meet again. I don't ever need a reason. When through a tempting hearts become closer, they will illuminate the path of truth. As the yellowest silver isles beast overseas. Let's make a note to the blood deep from our wounds. Even if we inflict pain, even if we inflict injury, we will not let go of our bond. Over there, in hearts are melting into one, and gradually open up the path of truth. As silver isles in the sea, overcasing pupils, where slowly reflecting the same theme. The silver isles beast overflowing, those in over bosom, no big yes to us over your misplaced. Even if we inflict pain, even if we become lost and inflicting joy, we will not let go of our bond. So even if we stumble, even if we are hot, let's take off making the bind of a wings. The shining wings titled and by the sun will get a day of life in the sky. Halloween, det älskas min vävejong. We saw so foreigners were looking up at the same sky. The dogs hiding in overcessed are overflowing. They saw in the sky and down into silvery eyes. Over pain of not being able to find disorder is making the path of dude become hazy. As silver eyes in the sea, overcasing pupils, where slowly reflecting the same theme. Even if we stumble, even if we are in youth, let's take off making the wind over wings. In a faraway place where not even our voice can reach, we are solely looking up at the same sky. No, I can finally feel it upon me again. Meet again. I don't ever need a reason. When through a tempting hearts become closer, they will illuminate the path of you. As the yellowest silver eyes beast overseas. Let's make a note to the blood deep in from our wounds. Even if we inflict pain, even if we inflict injury, we will not let go of our bond. Over there, thin hearts are melting into one, and gradually open up the path of truth. As silver eyes in the sea, overgazing pupils, where solely reflecting the same dream. The silver eyes beast overflowing, dosing over pursuit. No viljes to was over your misplaced. Even if we inflict pain, even if we become lost and inflicting joy, we will not let go of our bond. So even if we stumble, even if we are whole, let's take off, make it the wind over wings. The shining wings title them by the sun. We'll get a day of life in the sky. evening, konbanwa, and how's it going? So, I hope you have been having a good day so far. Have anything exciting been happening you or something? As for me, today, well, so the council at my neighborhood have decided that we all should have ourselves a smart TV. So I just got myself my first, my first ever smart TV, and I actually really like it so far. And well, I can't really think of. So today yeah. Maybe I should say what we're gonna be playing today. So today we're gonna be playing some Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. But before we do that, so today I'm 86% bunny, and I'm also 12% delicious. And as for the question of the day, how do you entertain yourself when you're bored? Well, in my case, I basically almost never get bored. Almost. Because I always make plans for what I can do, what I can do during that time of the day if nothing else is going on. So I always have a backup plan to go to in case I have time to kill. Like for example, I have my phone and nothing is going on. I can pick my phone and play a little card games, for example. So I always have something. So I always have something I can fall back to if nothing's happening. Anyway. Well, I can't really think of anything else to talk about here. So, let us actually get to game in here. So, I'm just gonna change the room quickly. Wait, hang on, did I? Yeah, I did. Anyway. So I'm just gonna change the room quickly here. There we go. And let me launch the game here. Hang on. Okay. So, last time at Ace Attorney Dual Destinies, so did we do some investigation and we might have when we was doing our investigation, we actually got to meet we got to meet Black Quill's old sister, and along with that, we also learned that there's more to Yui Cosmos than meets the eye, and he have told us himself, but he's actually gonna be a witness this time, and then at the end we did Apollo say that he was gonna confront the dude in his own way, but even if we walk different paths, it will all lead to the same dude. So let's get to gaming här. Så hang on här. Just gonna open the whiteboard. And here we go. And now it is time to it's time to get to gaming här. So objection. So here we go then. December 20, 10:15 a.m. District code courtroom number 5. Well, like always, I'm gonna start by doing a little recap of everything used to remind myself. So, Adonis Bates, the same like always. And this is the artist fire report for Darren. And as you can see here, he died by stabbing, and his body was discovered at the third floor, body loans in the main building. And this is the diagram for the Space Center. So, as you can see, there is a cell there. There is a cell there on the ground, and the only way to get to the launch spot is from the third floor. And to get to the main building from the launch spot, you have to go to the middle level. And at the launch spot, the only way to go down is by taking the elevator. But the only way to go up is by taking the ladder. And this is the utility knife which was used to kill Darren. And this is the dialogue that you need for the launch spot. And we go, and the Starbucks beans was found on the door look. But the only ones that could open it are Joey Cosmos, Starbucks, which is our client, and Darren, the victim. And even if the power happens to go down, so does it have a backup power? And anyone attempting to take the paint are recorded via the security camera. Yeah. And this is the footage from the security camera. And as you can see, this was all it managed to get. It didn't manage to get anything before and after this. So how you can't tell who's who, but we managed to determine that the one that have fainted hair is actually Starbuck, and the one that's holding him up is Darren. Which means that before that Darren was alive when it was taken, and it was after it was taken that he got killed. And this is the broken oxygen tank that belonged to Darren. So And there's one thing here that doesn't make sense because as you can see here, this one is a 50%, but but they had at 80%, and that makes it. Oh wait. Oh wait, my bad. And so this one, when the food was taken, so this we say that they had 50% oxygen left, but then it got broken, meaning that it had 0% left. Meanwhile, Starbucks had 80% left. And this is the pamphlet for the Space Center. So this gives basically the layout of the launch pad. No, I mean of the main building at the third floor. So as you can see, there is also a control room here. And then this is the full layout of the space center. So as you can see, not only do you have to go to the third floor to get to the launch pad, but you also have to go to the third floor to get to the Space Museum. And at the Space Museum so can you find a life-size replica of Hat 1 and everything related to it. And the museum is open between 9 to 7. And then this is the door lock for the control room. And the only one that can open this is Yogi Cosmos. And then this is a bullet that we found which belongs to a point .10 caliber handgun. And then we found a bullet hole on the window too. Apparently this one was caused by Detective Arm. However, the bullet for that one is missing. Unless those two are connected, but we'll see later. We haven't made that connection yet. And then this is the Hope capsule, which Theon was holding when he got killed. And inside it, so is there an asteroid sample, making this very valuable. And then this is Arya's statement. Arya, who is Blackquill's older sister, because she didn't see who it was, but she did see when the murder happened, as she was making her way down because of the explosion. And then we have Athena Sykes here, who's helping also her this time around. And then Apollo Eustace, who is he's walking his own path now. And then Tuesday White, who is basically White's daughter. And then Clay Theon, Apollo's high school friend, and he was and also the victim who was supposed to go to space with the starboard. And then we have Juniper Woods, who happened to be at the who happened to be at the courtroom during this trial, and she falsely got accused of having caused the bombing, but she got found innocent and has over client Solomon Starbuck, and he was a bit like a mentor to Diane. And then Simon Blackwell, who is the prosecutor of this case, and then Bobby Fulbright, who is a silly little detective, but honestly, after the last investigation, my opinion of him have actually changed. He's actually quite a sweetheart, actually. And then we have Countess Armor, so I know she didn't commit it, but she was there because they knew a bombing was gonna happen. However, she did get killed at episode 1. But for now she's alive since this takes place before... Never mind. Anyway, and then Hasio Cosmos, who is the director of the Space Center, and there is a high chance that he might be the murderer, since he's the only other person that had access to the launch spot. And then we have Bongo, who is a guide robot for the Space Center. And then Aya Blackwell, who is Blackwell's older sister, and also a robot resource at the Space Center. And she really hates the current love system. And then we have Klonku, who is another robot that I have made, albeit she often calls him Hunk of Young. Anyway, and that is all. So let's keep going here. Oh wait, we're going straight. Okay, we're going straight to it. I see. Day 2. God is loving season. Alright. What are you ever? Why are you hiding? You know, it's not exactly encouraging when we start off with you hiding like this. That's not exactly very encouraging. I suppose we should convince the deal of Solomon Starbuck or something. Yes, that is why I'm here. What? Okay. Oh, you honor, could you please come out from under your pants? Yeah. I'm like you, I'm like, wondering why he's hiding. Like, it's not like another bomb will go off. I hope at least. There are no more bombs, I promise. Oh yes, my apologies. I'm still a little jumpy when it comes to deals involving bombs. I noticed. I mean, first the courtroom exploded. Yeah, and then we have this case. And then Mr. Tunate self-destructed. Because that's one way of describing what happened to Tunate. Yeah, that's one way to put it. Anyway, it seems that Mr. Eustace was seriously wounded by Mr. Tunate's actions. Yeah, so you, Mr. White, will be taking up the defense? Yes, that is exactly why I'm here. You have an understanding of what has happened in the deal so far? Yeah, I looked at all of you very carefully and then some more, so I have a pretty good understanding here. Yes, Your Honor, the defense is ready. Very well. Is the prosecution also ready? I take it that is. I take it you'd like me to give the opening statement this time. Looks like the yours has become a pretty good mind reader. Yeah, some things never change. Well, he certainly seen more than his fair share of colorful prosecutors. Yeah, Albert, I'm not gonna lie, Black Quill still takes the cake. You could say he's something of a veteran of a sort. Let's see. In the previous part of this deal, we learned that the victim, Clay Terran, escaped from Loans Part 1 carrying the defendant, Solomon Starbuck. There were explosions on the second floor of the Space Center and on the rocket itself. The two astronauts used the Launch Part 1 corridor to reach the port in Launch. And how could the victim climb down the ladder if he was carrying the defendant? That was the mystery that needed to be solved. But Mr. Eustace proved that the victim was killed in the port in Launch. Yeah, meaning that he could climb down on his own. Prosecutor Blackwell, were you able to discover any new facts related to this point? Upon further investigation, we discovered an oxygen tank fragment in the launch. Surprisingly, it would appear that Justice Turner's argument was correct. So that means the testimonies of the first two people on the scene are suspect. Exactly. There were two people who claimed to be the first on the scene, but can we duly trust their statements? Let's see. The two people were Detective Countess Arme and Yuri Cosmos, right? You think that one of them might have given a false statement to the police? Yes, it's certainly possible. We might have to do a little more digging. A good chance it was Yuri. And just as our team was able to cross-examine Detective Arme, the courtroom pumping incident occurred and the deal was put on hold. Yes, and then afterward she was killed by Detonate. That accursed fellow, he killed my witness. He killed Detective Arme. He definitely put the key post on everyone asking her about what she saw. Yeah, so now we only have Yuri Cosmos to go for. Exactly. In other words, the question of who killed the victim in the port in Launch has once again become the main focus of this deal. It's obvious Prosecutor Blackwell still thinks it was Mr. Starbuck. Fulbright said that Blackwell has a thing against the astronaut. Yeah, and unironically, his older sister who happens to work for the Space Center have a thing against the love system. Nevertheless, the defense argues there was a third person in the loops and thus would kill the victim. To make such reckless claims in a courtroom takes a bold man or a stupid one. There was no third person in the party announced. Are we certain of that? Or have you conducted already? Old man? Old? We'll see what's the total after I told you with my years of experience, little boy. Are they almost the same age? Like, is it the age difference? Like, I bet it's so that you two are around the same age, huh? So this is kinda. In any case, Mr. Starbuck claims he saw someone leaving the loans. Furthermore, a Space Center employee also saw a suspicious figure at the scene. They saw a third person? Yep. I see my sister has been yawning her mood. That's right, I almost forgot that Aya is a persecuted Black Queen's sister. No matter, she didn't see the mysterious person's face clearly. Therefore, there is no evidence to indicate that this person was not the defendant. Well, you're right about that. I guess the possibility that the figure was Mr. Starbuck is still there. In brief, we need to determine if a third person was there or not. To this end, we should hold the testimony of one of the first people on the scene, Director Cosmos Ho. Very well. Police, please bring the witness to the stand. Yeah, he did, and we already know because he did tell us. Why? I believe I've seen you before in the newspapers. I would be surprised if you haven't seen him on the newspaper. Of course you have. Of course you have. For I am Yui Cosmos, Director of the Cosmos Space Center, which was of course named after me, Yui Cosmos. Don't you have anything you wish to ask me? Looks like he's all get up to do some bragging. Yeah, he so loves to brag. 7 years ago, I successfully launched the Hat One, and well then, that got good so. Everyone already knows how brilliant you are. And I am trying to hold back my test at seeing such a great man standing before me. Okay, you really know what he... You're really good at saying the things that will make him happy. So could you please proceed directly to your important testimony? Ha 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 ha! I see this fine young lad has a proper appreciation of greatness. I don't think that's the case, but if you wanna believe that, then go right ahead. Then allow me to begin my epochal testimony that will be recorded in the annals of history. Those piece of music with the black wheels used to know. It sounded more to me like he was poking fun at the actor Cosmos. I mean, he kinda was. It's probably for the best that it said right over the director's head. Yeah, otherwise we won't have heard no end to it. Now then, director Cosmos, the condensed version of your illustrious testimony, please. Yeah. Don't make it too long, please. I do wanna get this section over with today, please, so don't go spend hours. Anyway, what I saw what it said. Detective Ahmed and I used to watch the boating loans together. We went via the control room and peeked in from there to see what was going on. We saw a figure standing in the middle of the loans and Dan lying on the floor. I hate to say it, but I can only imagine the standing figure must have been a Starbuck. I see. So new testimony you claim? You arrived on the scene after the two had escaped from the loans bar to the loans, and just after the victim had been killed. Oh, the horror, the humanity! But what I said is what I saw, and what I saw is what I said. Not gonna say a thing about that line. Courageous action to take in the face of so terrifying explosions. What did you say? To say, my man, I went personally into the epicenter of danger. Risking my own life for this. You so love to boost your ego. And what do you know? It sounds like the director really cares about his man. I don't know. I feel like it's a bit over-glamorized what he's saying. Yeah, all of it sounds more like he was scared and used had a pig from far away. Is the defense here to cross-examine the witness? Yes, I am. Yes, Your Honor. The actor Cosmos' testimony is pretty vague. I'm going to have to press him and tell out more information before I do anything else. So, have we go then? Let's see what I can learn here now. What I saw at the scene. Detective Ahmed and I used to watch the boat in the loans together. Hold it! Where were you coming from? The 6th floor. We were making so any staircase made the way to the 4th floor. It was then we heard up a Starbuck and down and hurried to the 3rd floor loans. Oh my, galactic scooter here, of course. Why do you keep calling it galactic? Does it have something to do with space? Let's not question about the names now. Of course, it's specifically designed to be used on galactic battleships. Okay, now you're being a bit delulu here. I see. Did I take it works in Cherokee too? Certainly not, with the current state of technology as it is. So in other words, what you used to say it was a bunch of bullshit. I'm afraid it won't use to float apart and be galactically useless. Well, that's a galactic boomer. I see. So you used to the port in loans on your space ace poker stick. Okay. Okay. That's okay. That's one way of putting it. Okay, I did not expect that. And when you go to the scene, what did you see? We went via the control room and peeked in from there to see what was going on inside. You say we, but you're the only one that can enter there. Hold it! Let's see. According to this diagram, you didn't have to go to the control room to get to the port in the loans. It looks like you got a contact from the southern corridor as well. Yeah. Which is actually kinda neat because otherwise only you Cosmos will be able to go to the port in the launch. Yes, but in her haste, Detective Arme used ahead of me to watch the control room. All I could do was merely follow behind her. Okay, hang on a second. What you saying right now makes no sense to me. I see. Well, I'm gonna point out the contradiction here a bit later, but what you're saying makes no sense. So we peeked into the port in loans from the control room door and we saw a figure standing in the middle of the loans and then lying on the floor. Hold it! So you got to see what the figure was clearly or what they were doing? Sadly, the only thing I could tell was that it was a person standing motionless. The defendant noted, staring aghast at his teeth. What other explanation is there? Ugh, I'm so close, but without evidence, I can't prove that person's the third party. I don't really see this, and I hate to say it, but I can only imagine the standing figure must have been Starbuck. Hold it! Aya Blackwell also saw a suspicious figure in the lawns, but she gave the statement that it was too dark to see the person's face clearly. Did you see this figure's face clearly? No, not clearly. So in other words, it's only a speculation. The light that they were holding illuminated the area around their feet at the time, but other than that, I could see little else. That's why I could see there, but I couldn't see who the other person was. So for all you know, it might not have been Mr. Starbuck. Is that correct? I would like to believe that. Starbuck isn't the type of a man who's capable of murder. When the witness entered the port in the lounge, there was no third person there. Isn't that correct? Jade Space sent the ejector? Yes, that's right. Only Starbuck and Darren were there by that time. After we peeked in, the lawn suddenly went dark and the figure vanished. Interesting. You mean they disappeared?
tason. The reason the figure apparently vanished is because it was the defendant. When the witnesses weren't looking, he fell to the floor and fainted unconsciousness. Are you sorry about that? Hold on, Director Cosmos, did you ever take your eyes off of the screen? Use the for a brief instant, about as long as it takes for a shooting star to go by. In other words, less than a second. If you took your eyes off the scene, then this third person could have escaped during that time. But what escape route could this person have used? The direction opposite the control room, the southern door to the elevators. The direction opposite to the... Never mind. There's no security lock on that door, so it won't have been possible to escape that way. Yeah, it certainly won't. All things are possible, but I don't know. The real question is, do you have any proof? Well... If we use talking possibilities, we could easily profess whatever we'd like. An inmate who used to be a university professor, and the Luna Yesosa used to say that there is a kingdom of little kin men who live onto the surface of the moon. As long as they don't punish us in the name of the said moon for what we were told to eat. But I say, where's the proof that this grand kingdom exists? He's calling you there a work of fiction, boss. Yeah, I can tell that. And he's right, I don't have any proof yet. Still, he thought the door was a possible escape route. I'd better make a mental note of that. Director Cosmos, may I ask you a question? Okay. Yes? Why did you look away from the port in the launch? Ha 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 ha! There's actually another tale of a period behind the answer to that. Let's hold it. It was when Detective Arme saw the figure and Yeaster had gone. Being a great humanitarian and protector of mankind, I tried to stop her. I wonder, is that truly the case? What? You think Detective Arme Yeaster gone as soon as he saw the figure? Well, I have a little issue of... Actually, I'm gonna let you finish before I say that. I imagine her instincts as a detective taught her to be the killer. I don't know about that. And were you able to prevent Detective Arme from firing her gun? I'm afraid I was too late. I was unable to stop her. She identified herself clearly and then... she fired through warning shots at the shadowy figure. You say true, but... Yeah, I'm not really too sure if that's the case. This information about Detective Arme's actions sounds critically important. Please add it to your testimony. Detective Arme fired through warning shots at the figure. Hold it! Instead of the true shots hit the culprit? That is correct. The detective appears to have missed on purpose. But why was he need to fire through as a warning? Normally you only need to fire one. But it's really there's something about this that bothers me. So Detective Arme fired through warning suits, did she? That's the first time that info has come out. What if I can find any inconsistencies? Well, I do have a pretty big issue with that one. So I'm actually gonna point it out right now. And I do believe this is the better one to go off the truth. So, hold objection! Are you sure you were really paying attention to what Detective Arme was doing? You took my words! Words that they will so... You took my words! Words that will someday be written down in history book! Okay, now that's a really aggressive look. Somehow, I don't think that those exact words will ever be written down in any history books. Mr. White, could you please explain yourself so that we can all understand? As it is, you say that the Detective Arme fired through warning suit. And yet, only one bullet hole was ever found at the scene. What? Only one bullet hole means the gun was only fired once. And yet the Ectocosmos is saying Detective Arme fired through suits. Yeah, which doesn't hold. No editor would allow such a glaring contradiction into a history book. Unfortunately for you, the witness was out you. Do you mind clarifying for me? We confirmed that two shots were fired from Detective Arme's gun. How so? But there was only one bullet hole at the scene. Where did the other bullet hole vanish to? Ah! Man, you should know the answer to that already. I sold? Are you talking about this? Don't tell me you're talking about the oxygen tank. Or are you perhaps talking about this one? I sold? Okay, you was talking about that one. During the previous deal, a certain oxygen tank was presented as evidence. We already discussed that it was used in the loans, have we not? Yeah, that we did. Well, it appears that the thing that used it was a bullet. Okay. There we go. Of a small victory. Very used like that. A bullet that was found near the tank to be precise. This bullet was fired from a .38 caliber, the same caliber as the detective's gun. And the one I have here is a .10. What? Oxygen tank data. The victim's oxygen tank was struck by a bullet. Oxygen tank data updated in the code record. The Giflin marks also match up. Well, let's see then here. Okay. There's no question that the bullet was fired from Detective Armer's gun. Bullet from Armer's gun. The bullet found near the victim's oxygen tank. It was fired from a .38 caliber handgun. Bullet from Armer's gun. Added to the court record. Gifflin marks. Gifflin marks. They like a guns of fingerprints on a bullet. Yeah. And then, so let's see how then. Examining the Gifflin marks on a bullet can tell us the gun it was fired from. The model of it at least. One of the bullets the detective fired found its way into the holographic image display. The other bullet came to a stop near the victim's oxygen tank. The evidence confirms the detective's statement that the detective fired through shots. So, my beautiful contradiction, gone, all gone. So that bullet hole was a .38 caliber hole. I'd better update the record. Bullet hole. The only bullet hole found in the body alone. It was made by a bullet fired from a .38 caliber gun. Bullet hole updated in the court record. Very good. Now we know the fate of a part of the suit Detective Armer fired. Well, let's see. Alright. Mr. White, to start clear up all of your questions. Detective Armer fired two warning shots. One hit the holographic display and the other hit the oxygen tank. To start really clear up everything about what happened at the scene. For me, it doesn't really feel that way, honestly. It still feels like there's something missing. No, Your Honor, it doesn't. Detective Armer fired two warning shots from a .38 caliber gun, but that doesn't explain the existence of a certain piece of evidence found at the scene. A piece that points to the existence of a third person. Oh. Very well. What do you want to do to keep us waiting, Mr. White? What piece of evidence suggests the possibility of a third person at the scene? I do believe it is this bullet that we also found. So, take that! And what is this metal pellet supposed to be? Just a little something of great importance we found at this crime scene, Your Honor. You found it where? At the crime scene. In a floor cutter at the crime scene. It looks like the police and prosecution both missed it. Furthermore, this is a .10 caliber bullet, making it more smaller than one of Detective Armer's .38 calibers. Then that means exactly, that is what it means. Exactly, one more person must have been there in the lounge. A third person who had a goal to fire a .10 caliber bullet. Yeah, and if that's true, it explains why Detective Armer fired warning shots. Yeah, it was actually meant for the one that had the other gun. This third person fighter detective Arme gick till Cosmos with their gun. And then on, the detective fight Herman in suit. Isn't that how it really went down, Detective Cosmos? Ha 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 ha! It looks like you introduced my miraculous tale of survival. So, why didn't you tell us yourself exactly? Yes, you're absolutely correct. The mysterious person fired upon us. What's this now? And you don't think that was important to tell us? What? You never created a word of any of this to me before? Ha 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 ha! Well, all cavemen have a secret or truth, don't you know? Foolish don't you, sir? So the Cosmos really has been hiding the presence of a third person all along. Yeah, and that's actually gonna change everything. To over favor the Cosmos, I wanted to testify to the court about what you really saw. You might be a very great man, but in my courtroom, you are used to another witness. You want to see special treatment here? No, please give actual testimony. And here we go then. What I really saw at the scene, Detective Arme and I used to the control room together. In the lounge, we saw a figure standing in the middle of the room, and there along the floor, we were still in the control room to the east when the figure fired at us. Given that there was no third person in the lounge when the witness entered, does this mean that the person who fired the gun had to have been the defendant? Nah, not necessarily. It's still possible that it was someone else. Most likely, as soon as Detective Arme and Detective Cosmos discovered this person, they escaped through the solid door, the one that didn't have a security lock. Yeah, it is very possible. Double-edged swords are a tricky load. Miss Sandoval, and it is you who is got down. Yeah? You usually could apply if a space ball were the killer as well. Think about it. After being discovered, he could have fired a .10 caliber gun. Detective Arme would be responded by firing through warning shots. All he had to do was feign unconsciousness to invent the possibility of a third person. But Mr. Starbucks didn't have a gun in his possession when he was found by police. Nor has the gun been found at the crime scene. Its absence can only be explained if there was a third party who took it with them. You got the existence of a dress suit in the boat in the lounge. The defender could have simply thrown the gun down the shutter. But you got the possibility of a third person living with a weapon. It's up to you to prove that possibility. And I trust you haven't forgotten my little piece of decisive evidence. Okay. What evidence? Why, the detonator switch that was found in Mr. Starbuck's pocket, naturally. Say what? The most compelling evidence of all that tells us he is the culprit. I did forget all about that. Me too, to be honest. Look, you partners, how deliriously obvious it is that I lack the evidence to give all mine. So he sliced over the percentage to Yippos and sold it to us, just like that. Yes, well, I have a question of my own actually. What do you wanna ask? That bullet that the mysterious figure shot, what did it hit exactly? It hit me. So to start with you, ghost? I mean, it is possible to get hit by a gun and to survive, you know. I was wondering when you would realize it, you partners. The ectocosmos is an authentic bona fide ghost. He can even pass through walls. What the actual fuck? Physical the blackmail, shame on you for teasing the nice old gentleman. You partners, it was all in yes. Please stop yourself again. I swear. Are you sure? In that case. How did you manage to survive being shot, the ectocosmos? Ha 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 ha! I'm glad you asked! It was a miracle! A miracle befitting a great history-making figure such as myself! The bullet hit my glorious medal of honor, whereby it requisited to saving my life. What? So basically, it was a blood armor that saved you. That's unbelievable. I have to check this out. Oh wow, look at that. The small extra Jochira star. The odds are literally astronomical. I consider it was a miracle. It's beginning to feel like the cosmos is watching out for the ectocosmos. But why did you conceal this information, the ectocosmos? A great man such as myself has to hide things on occasion, no matter how much it hurts. It is the plight of the truly great. It might be hard for this generation to understand. I mean, aren't you and the youths from the same generation? I don't know, but it sounds sufficient to me. What else is he hiding? Let's just go examine him and see what we can find out. Good idea. Now then, Mr. White, you close examination, please. Alright, here we go then. What I really saw at the scene. Here we go then. Detective Ahmed and I used to the control room together. Hold it! We will later hold all up for that part. Don't you have any new information? Well, let me see. If you have an overview, I can tell you all about the Hot One Miracle. No thanks. Violeti Nova alla potato. Tell us something related to this incident. I see. You want to know about incidents? Well then let me tell you about the many incidents that made me the man I am today. Can you please stick to the incident that we actually talking about? Yes, if you have the time, I will tell you all about the upbringing of this great man. You will tell us all about that as well. What we need now is your testimony. Did I really tell you all about my upbringing? I don't recall doing so. Director Cosmos, perhaps you could save your boastful tales for later. If I must, well, we picked into the control room door and in the lounge we saw a figure standing in the middle of the room and there on the floor. Hold it! But it was so dark you couldn't see this figure's face. Isn't that right? Yes, the room was as deep and dark as outer space itself. Speaking of outer space, during the hot one launched 7 years ago. Stay on topic. Stay on topic, please. If it's about that hot one miracle again, you can suit off and tell it to a stray mood. Damn. Ha 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 ha! Excellent idea! No reason why the animal was the sorted whole of my greatness. He was insulting you. Hello. And so they said, but first your testimony. What happened next? We were still in the control room to the east when the figure fired at us. Hold it! So in other words, you were fired at while you were at the control room door? Is that even possible? I don't really know if that even is possible. Anyway, that is correct. There's something not quite right about that. Director Cosmos, the bullet is the person fight hit you, isn't that right? Yes, it was a miracle. A miracle befitting a great history-making figure as myself. The bullet the figure fight hit me when I was in the control room. But as the Cosmos won't have it, the bullet bounced off my glorious medal of honor. In that case, the bullet sort of wound up somewhere around the control room door. But that's not where we found it. Okay, so Director Cosmos was in the control room to the east, and when he was there, he was shot by someone with a .10 caliber gun. But the bullet hit his metal, so he was unable to escape. So he was able to escape with his life. He's a very lucky man. No wonder people think he's great. Hey, I'm pretty lucky myself. So if he's a great man, then I'm king of all the cosmos. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, I do kind of have an issue with that last statement of yours. So, there are two things I can. So, it's either this one I wanna point out, or the other one I. Well, I'll start with this one. So, okay, that one was wrong. Well, in that case, since not that one, let's actually go for. Oh. 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 I see. Okay, both of them was wrong. That changes things. Well, all I know is that this one is wrong actually. That's all I can say for certain. Objection! Wait, seriously? I don't like when they came to stuff when the evidence is exactly the same as the last one. I was like, no way it could be this one, but it was that one. Anyway, Director Cosmos, I believe you are telling this scapegoat a glorious lie. A great man like me tell a lie? Have you ever heard of such a thing in all of history? You won't be surprised at how many times I have actually. There are lots of great men that have lied in the history books. You won't be surprised. My accusation is based on the positions of the people who were in the loans. According to your testimony, you and Detective Armer were at the control room door, and the mysterious figure was standing in the middle of the boarding loans. If, as you say, the figure fired a gun at you from this position, then the bullet would have traveled in this direction, northeast. However, we found a .10 caliber bullet here in the southern wall. Oh! This trajectory where the bullet was actually found contacting each other. Director Cosmos, where were you really when you were being shot at? God! Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the human merry-go-round. Yeah, let's hope he doesn't ruin it from that. Yeah, what is it now? Don't tell me you were forgotten. Don't tell me you were forgotten already. Did the witness himself just tell you? The bullet hit his metal. Yeah, I'm not gonna deny that, but that still doesn't explain it. Of this, there is no mistake. But in that case, the bullet should have been found at the east side of the room. Are you trying to say that you can explain this inconsistency? Of course. Fuck. 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 You actually call? Fuck! I didn't think. What? I was like, okay, the Cosmos. Yes! Is there something you'd like me to expound upon? You were in fact not in the controlium to the east, were you? You were looking into the lawns from the north to the south. Is that not right? Pew. That basically means that he had been lying all this time, if that's the case. God! What are you getting at? You see, on pain, your head must have some use other than hosting that bird's nest. Says the one with a bird on his shoulder. Bird's nest? Why does everyone pick on my heart? Director Cosmos and the detective witnessed the scene from the southern door. The killer fired at them from there. The killer fired at them there, and that is why the bullet was found in the south. But that's not what he said. Ah, that makes some sense, actually. Also, the witness pin at the southern door is the variable for the persecution. How so? Oh, I've got a bad feeling about this. How about it, director, if you don't tell the truth this time? Yikes! 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 His handcuffs! So even you are scared of a black quill? You will become both your stop on my throat. I yell it's the chance to got it on a great man. Aliai, I'll tell the truth. Just put your sword away. You are correct. I, the great Yuri Cosmos, was looking into the room from the southern door. And you only told us this now because why? But what? That's the complete opposite of all the testimony he's given so far. And now you have lost the possibility that a third person was in the room. I have? How? The director and the detective and the southern door. Meaning the killer couldn't have escaped you for that. And also impossible to escape you for the control room. The western door, you can't being the recognition. The corridor beyond was filled with smoke. The only escape route left was eastern control room door. And the only way to get off there was with the director Cosmos fingerprints. In so, there would be no escape for any third person had there been one. But third person used this a bit, like in Wall of Deuces back at DX. Yet, damn those magic bats. Order in the court. Director Cosmos, why did you tell such an audacious lie? Yes? You were calling for the defendant, isn't that right? Yes, It was all for the love of my man. If I said I was in the eastern control room, it would mean the culprit could have escaped through the southern door. It would have meant that they could have been a third person. All I wanted to do was to protect the Starbuck. Something tells me that's not the case. I said I was in the control room to invent an escape route for a third person. But a convoluted lie. Was he really coming for the defendant? It looks like we will come to a conclusion that the defense argument, the possibility of a third person has trumped. Here we go again. No! It's over. Yikes, the Yossis are putting hand on his verdict. Think, Phoenix, think. This is the perfect time to try and turn my thinking around. If a third person had no way of escaping the scene, then what if one of the people at the scene was this third person? Wait, what if the whole premise is all wrong? Let's hold it. Director Cosmos said that he and Detective Armor used the scene together. But what if that premise isn't true? What if one of them used the scene before the other one? And if that person entered alone, then they would be the third person. That is actually possible, since they have no alibi after. The defendant is the only one who could kill the victim and shoot at the director. There doesn't appear to be any room for argument against those claims. Har vi en avgörande by verdict? Please wait, Your Honor. There is still one possibility. Oh, this had better be good, Mr. White. There is one and only one person who could have escaped from the scene, and that person would be the first person who arrived in the scene, the opponent in the voting loans. The second person to arrive came via the southern door. That's why the first person fled from the room, using an escape route that was accessible only to them. Very well, let's hold more about this theory. With this one person who could have escaped from the voting loans? Well, yeah. Actually, I can actually see how it's possible for him to do that. So, take that. What? But that's... Mr. White, what are you claiming, huh? Of all the people who were at the scene, only the witness could have escaped. Yeah, I can actually very easily imagine that. The director is the only one with the authority to open the control room door after all. But that means... Exactly, the true identity of the third person is of a current witness, Director Yuri Cosmos. God! What? Yeah, because that way everything up till now makes sense. Order! Ordering the code, I say, Mr. Björk, you will explain yourself in more detail. I have said that the Cosmos arrived at the scene before Detective Arme and entered the boarding lounge alone. Yeah. Detective Arme arrived after that and saw a suspicious figure who was actually Director Cosmos standing in the lounge. And that's why they fired those two warning shots. Exactly. God! I will be hit! I will be hit on the starboard side! Captain Björk is a direct hit on the enemy ship, so a magnificent shot. Warning shots fired from the enemy ship. Prepare to intercept. Cosmos, you have told a lie in this code once again. I will be hit on the port side. The enemy has called in reinforcements. Off the Cosmos Control Center. Requesting permission to ask that you return to reality. But my ship will not go down to anything less than the ultimate weapon of evidence. But I do have evidence. In fact, you could say that your battleship passed its course. Yeah, your emblem. If the Cosmos is the third person, are you a Blackfield solve? This third person fight a Detective Arme and the Cosmos will take on. And in return, the detective fight have warning shots. Isn't that how it really went down, the Cosmos? Ha 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 ha! It looks like you have deduced my miraculous tale of survival. Yes, you're absolutely correct. The mysterious person fired upon us. The Cosmos must have been the one who fired the .10 caliber gun. When Detective Arme discovered him in the lounge, it only makes sense that he would return and shoot at her. Therefore, the evidence of the director's body is of a different kind of relevance than before. Yeah, and that's actually gonna help us. Once we compare it against another piece of evidence, the marketing receipt from the third party will be all the proof we need to prove that you were the one there in the lounge. Ooh! Praise for footage impact! Comparison against this piece of evidence will prove that you were the one in the lounge. Yeah. Against this piece of evidence are we? Let's see. Well, I can't really take a look, so all I can do is assume it's this one. We'll see what happens. I'm not really confident, but take that! Well, that means I was wrong. Well, I wasn't really. It was worth a try, at least. I just wanted to check if the other ones had an emblem. Anyway, so let's see. So what is it I want to look at? I'm actually not really sure what you want me to look at, so... Well... What I can think... I'm gonna start with this one, so... Take that! And I was wrong. Well, if that's not the one, then the other one I can think of is this. Let's see how then. Take that! Oh. It's still not right. Well, in that case... Well, how about this then? Take that! Oh. Well... Don't tell me it's that one again. Take that! Okay, this time it wasn't. Well, it could have been the same thing 3 times, but it wasn't. Well, if that's the case... Well then... Could it be this one then? Let's see. Take that! Okay. Have we go again? I'm an expert at getting stuck. Well then, how about this one? Oh, take that! Okay, so it was that one. The .38 caliber bullet found on the floor at the scene didn't hit the oxygen tank. It hit the ejector cosmos metal. If we have that intercept mark on the metal analyzed, I'm sure the caliber will match up. And if that mark proves to be from a .38 caliber bullet, it will prove that you are the third person we've been looking for. God! The base is destroyed! Losing altitude! All hands up on ship! If that's true, then what about the bullet that hit the oxygen tank? It was the .10 caliber gun. In other words, it was the bullet. It was the bullet fired by Yuri Cosmos. Isn't that right, Director? No! You've got it all wrong! What? The engines have started again? It's a miracle! I'm not going down yet! So, are you telling me that it was wrong? Witness! Stop this at once and confess the truth! If you don't want the history books to say that a great man was a great liar, then accept your fate and tell the truth. Are you giving me orders? Me? The great director of the Cosmos Space Center? God! But the Cosmos revolves around me! Isn't he dizzy yet? Oh, someone get me off this thing! Okay. Order the code, and will someone please stop the witness from spinning? Yeah, I think he's supposed to boom it actually. It was a bit too much for him. Thank goodness we were able to stop him from spinning off the face of the earth. When he was falling, I took the liberty of running an analysis on the mark on the metal. It was made by a .38 caliber bullet, matching it with the size of Detective Armer's firearm. Nigga! Are you ready to confess the truth, witness? No! You've got it all wrong! This is just a misunderstanding! Is he going to start peeling on more lies? Well, only one way to know. It looks like it. But no matter how many lies he tells, I'll just expose them one by one. I'll make the big liar tell the truth. Yeah, it's not going so good for him, so... Wait, Alieti? Well... Okay, that one was actually short. But... Well... I have no reason to stop, so I do believe I wanna keep going here. So let's actually do that. Yeah, I do wanna continue. Director Cosmos, a new possibility has been presented by the defense. They are claiming that you were this third person. Oh, forgive me. I'm so sorry. So the great pioneer of space development is revealed to be used another fabulous cool. I only have one question for the likes of you. Shall I send you off quickly or very quickly? Ah! The evidence doesn't lie, Director Cosmos, so don't try to talk your way out of this. Fine, I'll tell the truth. It's all just as you say, Mr. White. It's true that I was there in the boat in the loan. I got there before Detective Armer, and when she arrived, she fired warning shots at me. I was afraid people would mistake me for the killer, so I escaped to the control room. Is that really the case? I then went past the elevators and all the way around to board in the loans one again. I came up behind Detective Armer and pretended to be the second on the scene. So this opens the possibility of you actually being the killer now. What a troublesome old man you are, with such convoluted deeds and thoughts. I see. So then, are you still insisting that you did not kill the victim? Of course I am. When I arrived at the loan salon, I started you killer. The great Yuri Cosmos was a history-making witness. Really no. No hold on just one moment. We just built a few minutes ago. 33% of Mr. Starbuck and Mrs. Iowa Black Wilson was you. No, it wasn't me. I saw the person as well. If I were the killer, why would I lie to cover for Starbuck? I would just leave him to take the fall. That is an excellent point. Well, maybe he maybe have another reason. All I wanted to do was protect Starboard. I said I was in the control room to invent an escape route for a third person. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really buying that. Well, it makes some sense if he told those lies to cover for Mr. Starboard. Still, a lie's a lie, Athena. So the Cosmos claims he's not a culprit, but where's the proof? I just remembered, I have an alibi. And the only remember is now. Mr. Black Quill said that she saw the killer at 10 a.m. right? Yes, and? Well, I was on the 4th floor helping with the evacuation effort. Ask any member of the staff you'd like. They'll cooperate me. The director is not a thief into the court for once. I confirm that he has an alibi for the time specified. So, you claiming that Mr. Blackwell saw the killer commit the crime first at 10 a.m. and that you arrived at the launch after that? Yes, and I believe the person I saw is the same. And I believe the person I saw is the same person that Mrs. Blackwell saw. Although it was pitch black, so it was more of a shadowy figure and less of a person. And I couldn't actually see the face. But it was definitely the silhouette of an offline. As long as he has an alibi, we can't very well claim the actor Cosmos was the killer. No, we can't. Then again, maybe we don't need to yet. I wonder if he was really coming for Mr. Starbuck. Your Honor, the first moves to have the director testify upon the person he saw. Very well. Director Cosmos, your testimony, please. Well, we are about to get yet another testimony, but before we get that, so yet another art break is coming up. So be right back and see you in 3 minutes. I can't hold your voice crying for me, it's crying out my name. I was acting tough by saying that I don't team because it's scary to lose my team. I have a feeling that by abandoning my team, I'll be able to make up for something else. Tuesday is the determination to chase after intangible things like wishes or love. I can hold a voice crying for me, stand up and fight. Don't deceive yourself. Cry for you in order Du answer your voice, I know jag åt your name. I placed my lake of self-confidence with kindness. I have a feeling that by giving up, I'll be able to stop hurting others. When we completely accept our pain and hardship and start to understand each other, you stand will be born. I can hold a voice crying for me, don't yawn away. I will hold you everything tightly, cry for you, wanting to answer your voice. I know cry out your name. Let's never forget the fact that we can't be healed by overwhelmed of contact and sadness. I'm holding your voice, crying for me, it's crying out my name. Cry for you in order to answer your voice, I know. Alrighty, I'm back now. So I'm gonna keep going here now. And also, hello to you, Luciella. Always appreciated to see you here. Anyway. Well, what lie are you gonna tell this time, Director? What I yearly witnessed as a deity entity launched that you killer inside to fight a gun at me. I hide to avoid getting shot, but when I tried to get another look, they had vanished into thin air. I was not elevated side door, and well, they launched past one door, and the control door should have been shot tied to the killer. So there was only one, they could only have taken the shot and exit, in other words. So you were shot at by the killer as well, and then they disappeared? Yes, though luckily no harm came to my glorious body. Unfortunately, the bullet hit Terran's oxygen tank. I know because I heard a bang that must have been the sound of the tank being ruptured. Wait, but I thought the bullet hit his metal. Well, the one that armor fight hit him, but not the other one. That was Detective Armer's bullet, you remember? Yeah, what a mess this is turning into. So let's see. Detective Cosmos is claiming that when he found Mr. Tan at his killer, the culprit shot a .10 caliber bullet at him. Yeah, but it actually hit Mr. Tails' oxygen tank and ruptured it. And then the killer disappeared and the detective went into the boating lounge. When Detective Armer got up and fired those warning shots at him, judging by his metal, it looks like one of them almost took him out too. Good summary, but that doesn't explain where Mr. Killer went. Where you do? Detective Cosmos, I was wondering if you could elaborate on when the figure disappeared. I must say to admit I tried to hide myself when I was shot at, but when I peeped back into the lounge, the yellow killer was gone. I used into the lounge straight away to investigate. But what I found was Stan with a knife in his chest and Starbuck out cold on the floor. So we have a culprit who vanished from a scene that had no escape route. Yeah, a locked room murder in that case. Vanished without a trace. It's still like one of the great mysteries of the cosmos. A little of the aces indeed, but I don't know how a flipping list such as you can be lauded as great. A great man is always misunderstood in his own time, but he must remain true to himself, even if those around him don't understand. It's not like I don't understand, but you say that you do to yourself when you keep on lying. Well, that might be the first true statement he said all day. But how do you suppose this person managed to vanish so suddenly? Simple, because it was Space Boy himself. When he was spotted by the detective and Aya, he quickly feigned unconsciousness. That would certainly take all the mystery out of the idea of a vanishing culprit. I want to raise an objection, but I don't have any counter evidence. Detective Cosmos, when you saw this person, did you also see Mr. Starbuck on the floor? No, because it was as dark as a black hole in there. I didn't see Starbuck until the other person vanished and I entered the room. That wasn't exactly helpful. Yeah. I'm prepared to accept this surrender, right, Tono? And you won't get it. I can't find any holes in this testimony, but I can't give up. Mr. White, why don't you let me help? Go ahead. Huh? Well, the detective was giving his testimony. I detected a cacophony of discord, which means he's hiding his true feelings from us, huh? This just might help us to find out what happened to our vanished killer. Topic 8, Athena. Let's see what you can do with him. You got it, boss. I wouldn't want to miss this chance to dwell into a creative mind. You, Cosmos, prepare to hand over the secrets of your heart to me. Well, here we go then. So before that, you're gonna save quickly Hannah. As I try to enter the lungs. Did you kill inside fired a gun at me? Yeah, all these emotions actually make sense here. I hide to avoid getting shot. But when I tried to get another look, they had vanished into thin air. I was not elevated side door. And well, the lone spot round the door. Okay, that was interesting. And the control room door should have been shot tied to the killer. Talk about mixed feelings. He must be trying to account for a number of contradictions. Is that right? Maybe this time we should used to look for contradictory emotions. We should also look for emotions that should be there but aren't. Oh, I see what you're getting at. I guess it's gonna be a surprise that this mind is a convoluted place too. He must have felt very shaken and distressed at the time. Let's focus on the fluctuations in his emotions and see what we can uncover. Well, here we go then. Well, in that case, there was something. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say this one. So, got it! You should be surprised, but for some reason you aren't surprised. You must have thought it was very strange that the killer vanished into thin air. I did! That kind of thing just doesn't happen usually. Well, apparently you wasn't. And yet, at that time, you barely registered any shock at the occurrence. What? Why are you? No. I can only think of some variation as to why you weren't surprised by the killer's vanishing act. You must have had a good You must have had... Hang on. You must have had a good idea of where they went, isn't that right? What? No, of course not. That's preposterous. Only I can enter the control room. And the area beyond the lost part door was filled with smoke, making it impassable. And as for the southern door, I was standing right there, so there was nowhere for the killer to run to. Maybe, or maybe not, you went into the room to second Mr. Starbuck and Mr. Theon, yes? What if the culprit took the opportunity to silently slip out of the southern door? That is possible. I hardly doubt it, as you recall, right after I entered the lounge. Detective Armer came using towards it herself via the southern hallway. Anyone trying to escape through there would have been caught by her. The other detective wasn't surprised the killer vanished. Yeah, which doesn't make sense. So you absolutely saw there was no escape route for the killer to use? It's walking past one more bones and it be a knockout. There seems to be one more emotion that's at odds with his testimony. Go get him. Okay, back in the Magic Cities. Time to pinpoint our way to victory. Well, have we got then? As I try to enter the lounge, the two killers inside fired a gun at me. I hide to avoid getting shot, but when I tried to get another look, they had vanished into thin air. I was near the elevator side door, and well, yet this was the other one I found in the Destinies. Got it! Correct me if I'm wrong, but you seem to be afraid of the lost part at all. Yeah, which also made no sense to me. The great Yuri Cosmos? Afraid? And what basis do you have to that? And what basis do you have for that outlandish accusation? Whether you have any basis or not, you seem quite distressed by it. I'm most certainly not. Director Cosmos, there's something about the lost path door you're not telling us, isn't there? God! Wow, he's speechless. It looks like he hit a nail on the head, boss. So there is something about the door. I'll just input those two pieces of data and yes, just what I wanted to say. Alright. Best to say so, let's discuss. It looks like we're on the right track. Thanks, Athena. Now to make sense of what we've learned. The Cosmos wasn't surprised that a good bit suddenly vanished from the launch, which points to the possibility that he never where the killer had escaped to. Furthermore, talking about the door to the launch spot made him uneasy. In other words, he's probably hiding something about the launch pad one door. When we put these two pieces together, only one solution to the puzzle comes to mind. The extra Cosmos, did the real killer escape too far? Yeah, most likely he escaped too for the launch part, so take that! The culprit went with the launch part one door to escape, didn't they? Yes, I mean no. Disaster to the starboard, we're going to crash into an asteroid. A master tactician you are not. A master tactician you are not. That's Star Wars reference. But the idea beyond that door was filled with smoke, wasn't it? But if this is still the only logical answer there is, if we can use to figure out what the DX is hiding about the launch about one door, we should be able to iron out the logical inconsistencies. Potato equals the fingerprint recognition on the starboard. Darren and I have assessed. I don't see how the killer got the open that security lock, do you? You just answered yourself. That's an easy one. The killer was either in the port in the loans, meaning the survey could have easily gotten past that security lock. Come to think of it, we did examine the pins on the fingerprint recognition device. Yeah. I propose that the killer used this person's fingerprints to get past the security lock. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, he used the diagrams. So, take that. Yikes! Oh. I missed the amendment in that case. Anyway, in that case, take that. Oh. Well, in that case, then that only leaves a Starbucks. So, take that. The dots. Mr. Starbucks was lying unconscious there in the port in the lounge. Anybody could have easily gotten past the security lock by using Mr. Starbucks pins. And actually, Mr. Starbucks pins are exactly what we found on the device skin. Exactly. Oh! It looks like he does have something to hide up on the loud spot one door. And I'm betting it's got something to do with the culprit's escape route, but I don't have enough information to see the whole picture yet. That is still. You know, something used to go to me. I'm listening. Would you like to hear it? Oh yes, by all means. There's a security camera in Portin Loans 1. Yikes. The one that recorded the victim and the defendant, both aborted to honor. Yeah, that was all it got. If the two culprits escaped into the Loans Part 1 corridor, then that might be recorded on the security footage as well. I'm sorry to tell you, but we already checked that out, and I'm sorry, but you can rule that one out. Then the mistake won't be solved. What do you think of my logic? Yeah, I mean, it would have been solved long ago if it was that simple. I hope you didn't strain your faculties too much for that, you baldness. I beg your pardon? Look, if we play the security footage beyond this point... Oh my, the footage goes off! Exactly! I already tried that. The camera was running on backup power, but apparently the power cables were damaged. Most likely by the after effects of the explosion. There's no footage after this, be it of criminals or space aliens. And I thought it was such a good idea too. Just because you can't decide it's what's in front of you, it doesn't mean you should try to solve off too much. Can't pop baldness. Okay, that's actually quite savage. Mr. Cutter Blackwell, how did you know about my can't shield? You gotta be fucking me. It was actually you? Okay, it was actually you. I think it's kind of used to learn a little about the hardness of the adult world. Setting aside the issue of Kent children, I'd like to have the witness continue. The Cosmos, could you tell us more about when you entered the loans? Yeah, if I must. Well then, have we gotten again? Well, let's see now here. I hide. I hide to avoid getting sold. After the killer vanished, I went into the lounge. Leaving for okay. But that's when Detective Arme appeared from the elevator side door. And then the detective saw that me. So you see, the killer could only escape to the lounge bottom, right? I see. What do you think about the Ectocosmos emotional responses, Athena? Actually, my cat is really sick, you know. And what does that have to do with anything? What? Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that. And on top of that, my dog just doesn't seem to want to play with me. I apologize for that. Why you tell me all this now? Just humor me, okay? Now when you heard about my cat and tell about my dog, which story made you feel sad, eh? The one about your cat? The story about your cat, of course, it's only natural. Exactly, that would be the natural reaction, but there's nothing natural about the reactor's reactions. I think how easy individual reactions says across the world testimony will be the key. Sounds unnaturally complicated, but that somehow doesn't surprise me. Well then, let's see how now. In that case, so I had to think like that. Yeah, I think I see what you're trying to say. Well, it's most likely this one because it is feel a bit off. So, they got it! Am I right? No, if you put it that way, it doesn't make sense. I mean, I was wrong. Actually, why are you even surprised now that I think about it? Got it! The Ectocosmos! Why were you so surprised when Detective Arme found you and again when she fired? Isn't that a bit unnatural? It is, yes. Yeah. Sadly, even cavemen such as myself have ordinary human feelings. of a boat is upon by the forces of gravity and emotion. Even a great man such as myself experiences surprise on occasion. Okay. Yes, I'm sure you do. But my real point is not the fact that you were surprised, but rather what you were surprised by. Pardon me? First, you were surprised when Detective Armer found you in the lounge. And just after that, you were of course again. And just after that, you were of course again surprised when she saw that you. But consider what you were surprised about a strange phenomenon occurs here. The Cosmos, what is strange about your surprise reaction is the fact that you were. Yeah, it's the fact that you wasn't surprised by the door actually. Wasn't there something you should have been more surprised by? A payman such as myself is not so easily surprised. But being so that, no, that won't surprise anybody. And when you put it that way. Okay, so that wasn't it. In that case. Yeah. That you was actually more surprised when Armer came. So you were surprised when Detective Armer saw that you. But the surprise you felt when she found you in the lounge was much greater. Duck! The fact that you were more surprised by simply being found than by being sought out suggests to me that you were conflicted about whatever it was you were doing there. The enemy has acquired a new weapon. Commence operation. Hide under your desk. Please tell me I finally sunk his battleship. Not yet. Boss, I'm getting less difficult now. That must mean he really is hiding something about the launch pad door. And whatever he's hiding most likely has something to do with the killer's escape. I wonder what it could be. If he was doing something suspicious around that door, maybe we can spot some signs between before he came to the room and after. Detective Fulberg gave us a photo taken after the crime. Let's roll a comparison. Let's see here then. Let's see. This is footage of the door before Detective Cosmos arrived. And this is how the door looked after the director entered the lounge. I need to. Actually, yeah, that is odd. Actually, I think I found something. Hey, look at that. There is a saying. Something's definitely different. The Cosmos. What is it? What have you two been up to over there? Finding the answer to what you were doing when Detective Armer found you. That's what. And that answer lies clearly in this footage. All we have to do is compare it to the footage that was taken during the investigation. Don't be ridiculous! If you really do have an answer, you'd have pointed it out already. Well, I'm up. Just give me the time, I'm gonna point it out right now. He's asking for it. This is what saying after the incident. Yeah. So, have we gotten? It was this one. So, take that. The answer is this no. Nigga, that's. You hold on. Please take a look at this footage. Let's see. Take a look at the noob next to the lone spot door. As you can see, it's horizontal. Yes, it is, isn't it? However, high is vertical. When we investigated the scene of the crime yesterday, the noob was vertical. And what does that mean? Honestly, I don't really know what it does, but it must mean something. It means that sometime between before the director arrived and after, someone donned this knob. Oh! After the scene was discovered, you were the only one who could have donned the knob. Come on now, Director Cosmos, let's hear what you have to say. What were you trying to do by donning that knob by the door? Nigga, fine, I admit it. You're right, I did don that knob. That knob is a safety lock meant to keep the launch part in place. I was afraid there would be more explosions, so I wanted to move the launch part away. You wanted to do what? Okay. Hey, did Bunker tell us something about how they prepare for launch? She said that once the launch parts are fully assembled, it's moved to the launch side. Yes, it did say that. But the safety lock in the boarding launch has to be disengaged first. I could start glass up about the that noob is for. Yeah, at least we know now. Oh, so if the killer escaped into the launch part 1 corridor, maybe they were transported along the launch path to the launch side. That is certainly a possibility. I don't think so. The launch part 1 corridor was filled with smoke. I don't think they could have escaped through that corridor. So then, where did the killer escape to? Because there are still some things we have to uncover. Director Cosmos, I request that you tell us about moving the launch pad in more detail. Fine, but listen carefully, for I'm about to give history-making testimony. You always say that. Anyway, so let's see then. I had no choice but to disengage the safety lock. I felt there might be more explosions, so I had to cut the launch pad loose. Wait, hang on. I'm just gonna look to. Yeah. Yeah, so far it makes sense. Sorry, the only escape the killer had was through the launch pad 1. Oh. but that idea was a sea of smoke. Confronted, where enough could they have gone? Well, I'm gonna have to think about it. The director seems delving into a corner now. I can tell he's having a hard time hiding his true feelings. Just one final burst then. His attempts to conceal the truth ought to be all that hard for us to break through. If we keep at it calmly, I'm sure we'll cross the finish line. Well, I'm gonna be honest. For him to be happy actually doesn't make sense for me, so got it! I had no choice but to disengage the safety lock. He said happily. You make it sound like you were reluctant to do so, and yet when you did, you felt some joy, as if you were very pleased with yourself. Oh! How do you do it? How do you know everything as if you were there? Pretty impressive, isn't it? This is the power of analytical psychology. So, can you explain why you felt joy when you disengaged the safety lock? When I think back on the facts we've discovered up to this point, I have to believe that you were trying to fulfill some hidden agenda. How do you know about that too? So it was for an agenda. Because I'm more or less up you at cursing. Yeah, you're good. You're good at the bluffing. But you have no proof that I had a hidden agenda. And even if I did, I would never ever tell you. So that. I know they say people guess as they grow older, but you, so take the cake. And how could you top the man with such great intensity, intelligence, and integrity? Yeah? You, a man of integrity, don't make me laugh. Persecuted Black Queen, what came over him all of a sudden? You've spotted nothing but falsities since you stepped up to the stand. Yeah, that is very true. You're not the kind of man that will be glorified in the annals of history. Not for greatness anyway. Honestly considered the greatest bare-faced liar and honor. Liar! His was bite-hearted and his blade. You moved launch pad 1 after the explosions. My, how naive you are! Yeah. You fail to realize how even the facts themselves have betrayed you. You know, if the thought but modern English can be your friend, that is true. And has a thought for you. Immediately following the bombing, Launchpad 1 was on the boat in the Launch 1 site. The police confirmed this on scene. What? So that means the director didn't move the launch pad? Cause my husband for calling his story's greatest liar to the witness stand. Let us leave him to indulge in his lies and war games to his heart's content. Lord, I think we have broken him. Now he sees a broken record. But it doesn't make sense. You can deny that someone don't that know. And once the safety lock was released, I'm sure the part must have went somewhere. If we saved on the truth of this issue, we just might find where the killer escaped to. Ah! You saw it must have went somewhere. We just might find out. I see what you're trying to say here. Your arguments are nothing but conjecture, bluffing, and wishful thinking. Stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is. Or are you not man enough to, boy? God! Haha, talk about hitting below the bed. Young guns these days. He's not that much younger than you. I don't understand it. I thought the Ectocosmos must have moved to the launch pad. The knob was definitely turned after he came to the launch. But the launch pad is right where it's supposed to be. Ugh! Wait a minute, maybe I have it all backwards. What if the reactor turned the knob not to move the launch pad away, but to bring it back to where it was supposed to be? Exactly my thoughts. What are you plotting about? What if the launch pad was at the launch site before the incident, and then after the incident, the Ectocosmos moved it back to its usual spot? All he had to do was turn the knob to count the launch pad back, and it would be right where the police found it. God! Ah. Uh-oh. Don't tell me we're getting a second Starbuck now. You made them seem like Mr. Starbuck. Was what I really said that off base? It pains me to have to explain how wrong your own logic is to you. However, our great denier turned it up only after he discovered the crime scene. Indeed, the path existed beyond the launch when our Astro Walters made the escape. A fact that has been recorded for posterity on filmless film. Alright, so to reiterate, stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is, boy. Get a grip, Mr. Right, and focus. We know the launch pad must have been moved, but with the deductions and the actual facts of the case are in direct contradiction to each other. Well, maybe the two astronauts never actually boarded the rocket. That is a possibility, yes. This footage could be fake, taken with body purpose after the incident or something. I don't believe that's the case. On second thought, that's too far-fetched, even for me. Well, I'm glad that you saw it too, because I was just like, that makes no fucking sense. never actually ported a Jochira. Hey, wait a minute. Maybe, just maybe. Oh, okay. Physical the black wheel, what if I told you the two astronauts never set foot inside the launch about a year, but instead went into another place? And what if when the director moved the launch pad one but it was not from the launch site, but from another place? What would you say then? Got the existential pull, or I'll cut you. Mr. White, you will explain yourself at once. I know I'm right, it was all the other way around from the beginning. Very well, Your Honor, let me explain. The Cosmos reason for moving launch pad 1 was... Yeah, it was most likely to decapitate you, killer. No, that makes no sense. But to switch it with another place makes more sense, huh? Because he wanted to switch it with some other place. I'm sorry, but did you say switch it? But what could he possibly have switched the launch pad with? I already see the answer to that question. Oh, you'd be surprised, Your Honor. All it takes is a little thinking outside the box and the answer becomes clear as day. This is what was switched with launch pad 1. The Space Museum to be exact. I say to be safe. Take that! Launchpad 1 was switched with the Space Museum. In the past, the Space Museum used to be Launchpad 2. It has all the same features as Launchpad 1 and can even be moved to the launch site, meaning the Space Museum and the Launchpad 1 can also be switched with each other. You can't mean... Yes, that is exactly what I mean. The Jochira the astronaut spotted was not the one in Launchpad 1. It was the one in the Space Museum. What? Put it up! And yet, it's the honest explanation that accounts for every detail and for every detail and and then it's the only explanation that accounts for every detail and inconsistency. This is how the Space Center was used before the incident. I see Launchpad 1 and the Space Museum have already switched places. That's right, and with it will switch like this. The astronauts entered the Space Museum from the boarding launch 1. This allowed the two killers to enter Launchpad 1 from boarding launch 2 and set the bomb on the Jochira on the Digafit. Returned to the Space Museum from boarding launch 2. Welcome. The Space Museum is open to the public every day of the year from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Exactly. Anyone could pass through anyone could pass through for the door to the Space Museum. That is true. There is no fingerprint recognition system on that door. In other words, with a true launchpad switched like that, someone other than Mr. Starbuck could have easily planted that bomb. Go! After setting the bomb on the rocket, the culprits looked into both in the launch van and waited there, concealed. In order to kill Mr. Tan when the two astronauts emerged from the Space Museum, and that's when it happened. You gotta Mr. Blackwell, Mr. Starbuck, and the director all saw a suspicious figure who we can suppose, after killing Mr. Tan, made the escape into the Space Museum. After that, Director Cosmos switched the two launch pads apart. We realized that the killer was inside the Space Museum. Yeah, he thought he did that to be safe, but he was wrong. The killer then left the Space Museum and made a clean getaway. Go! Right, I see you know how to handle a sword, and handle it well. Perhaps I shall call you Swordmaster Blue. I'm a seasoned warrior who has got on many abused cutters. But unless you can prove you dare, it's no better than a rusty sword. That's right! You have no proof I switched the launch spot. Somebody needs a better anger management counselor. If the launch spot's really were switched, there might be a record of it somewhere. At this point, Launchpad 1 and the Space Museum were switched with each other. So the corridor beyond it also be the one that belongs to the Space Museum. Let's see. This is an image of the Launchpad 1 corridor. Let me think. Yeah. I'm observing her. Do you see anything different when we compare it to the security footage? Well, I actually do. The non-petals and bats. Oh, that number on the floor. Well, what do you know? It looks like we have built after all security Blackwell. Yeah, I saw that I found a contradiction here. But before I point it out, we have an artifact, so be right back and see you in 3 minutes. I can't hold your voice crying for me, it's crying out my name. I was acting tough by saying that I don't team because it's scary to lose my team. I have a feeling that by abandoning my team, I'll be able to make up for something else. Tuesday is the determination to chase after intangible things like business or love. I can hold a voice crying for me, stand up and fight. Don't deceive yourself. Cry for you in order to answer your voice. I know cry out your name. I replaced my lack of self-confidence with kindness. I have a feeling that by giving up, I'll be able to stop hurting others. When we completely accept our pain and hardship and start to understand each other, Tuesday will be born. I can hold a voice crying for me, don't yawn away. I will hold you everything tightly. Cry for you, wanting to answer your voice. I know cry out your name. Let's never forget the fact that we can be healed by overwhelmed of contact and sadness. I'm holding your voice, crying for me. It's crying out my name. Cry for you, Alright, I'm back now, so time to keep going här now. And I did manage to find the contradiction. And if this is just another proof, don't worry, this time it isn't. Oh, don't worry, it's alright här. Jag think this footage. Proof that beyond this door is the corridor to the Space Museum. Very well then, answer this for me if you would. What in this footage proves that the corridor belongs to the Space Museum? Well, that's easy. The answer to that is this one. Number 2. So take that. There's a one on the floor of the last part 1 corridor. But take a look at the floor of the corridor in the security footage. Do you see the number on the floor behind the astronaut? It doesn't look like a 1, 2 seat. That's because what you see is actually part of a 2. What? Why is it a 2 and not a 1? That's because the corridor you see is the one to the Space Museum. God! Ah! And so that means the corridor in this footage was not filled with smoke. Exactly. And thus it was a safe hiding place. That's right, because the explosion didn't occur in the Space Museum. The explosion occurred in Launchpad 1 on the side opposite the Space Museum. And now that we know that the two astronauts escaped from the Space Museum, the mistake from the previous deal of how they got down the ladder is cleared up. Mr. Dayan and Mr. Starbuck simply took the elevator from the upper level to the middle level. Just incredible, the true launch paths were utterly switched. But do you think someone would notice an event of this magnitude? Only if they was paying attention. Everyone was told in the basement shelter when the launch pads were swapped back. There's no way anyone could have known what was happening on the surface. Yeah! And there we go. Alright. So we can finally move on. No more lies, the Cosmos. It's high time you told us the truth. God, my honor, my glory, everything is slipping away. Time to the galactic. Oh, well, oh, well, that just happened. Anyway, let's see. My honor, my glory, everything is slipping away. Time to deploy my ultimate vehicle. Galactic engine ignition. What? It's called Harvey. Ah, it won't stop. God, my stars, my glory. God, no, not that way. God. Police on your state and after that witness. Okay, I don't even know what happened there. I see we managed to get you before you came to any bodily harm. The Cosmos, do you admit you switched the launch pads? I admit it's you. I switched launch pad 1 for the Space Museum. Ah, it is good to hear words I can believe for our saints. Yeah, he's completely broken. Before you do your honor, 2 things. First, we don't know if Mr. Dayan had pure knowledge of the switch. As for Mr. Starbuck, he was unaware of his surroundings thanks to his medication. Either way, Mr. Dayan won't realize the instant he stepped into the Space Museum that it had been switched with launch pad 1. Dude, it is hard to miss that. So my first question is, if the Space Museum was perfectly fine, why did Mr. Dayan feel the need to put on such a dramatic display? That is a good question. As for my second question, I'd like the Cosmos to tell us why he switched the 2 launch pads to begin with. Please. I can't. I I exercise my right to remain silent. But I will say, my hands were tied. Okay, what do you mean with that? I was only doing what I could to keep my man from getting caught in that blast. Mm, mm. The director is terrified. Yeah. And I do believe he is telling the truth this time. He must have one heck of a reason for not wanting to explain why. Probably not a good time to try to pry it out of him, huh? Yeah, I think so. Excuse me, but would you mind if I picked up my stars? Without my page of young, I'm nothing. I don't see why not. Polly helped the director retrieve his stars. Even if he doesn't deserve them. It appears the possibility of a culprit or the defendant has presented itself. Well, I'm gonna be honest. I believe some more investigation is needed now. Mr. Starbuck, is there anything you wish to say? I don't get it. Don't get it? What don't you get? Director, why did you do all that? From the very beginning, you never meant for the loans to go ahead, did you? You did those! Mr. Starbuck! Starbuck, my boy! I'm sorry, I can't tell you the reason why, but I had to do it to protect the Space Center. Director, will I ever get a chance to go into space again? So that's how it is. Yes, of course. I won't yes until it happens. You know, I'm starting to think of one thing. We have actually yet to meet her. She's the only one we haven't spoken with. I will get you into space again, my boy. Then the team is still alive. What? Damn, okay, that scared me. That made me jump, damn. I was like, I was thinking that it was over, but he's just like, you're not going into space, Starbuck. But Bison, I won't have it any other way. Why are you so hung up on him? Yeah, it's like it's personal to you. Yes, I accept that the launch spots really were sweet. And if they were a third person at the scene, I suppose they could have escaped. But I have yet to see proof of this third person's escape via the Space Museum. Oh, that's a good point. Actually, yes. He's right. I don't have any proof. Starbuck, you will spill everything you know. What? Me? Oh! Where did you get those bombs? Tell me now. If you don't, my blades are fast on your blood. God! If I'm going to die, I want to die in space! I have to do something. Yeah, I actually do believe in fact that the Starbucks have nothing to do with their bombs. Solomon Starbucks, prepare yourself. Yeah! Ha 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 ha! No, love, you know violence isn't the answer, persecuted Black Quill. Well, thank you. That annoyingly seafood laugh, it can be none other than champion of righteousness, Bobby Fulbright hat in Justice with yours. Detective Fulbright. Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Lawyer. I hope I'm not too late. Nah, you made it. I don't believe we had an appointment. I tried to hurry, but I ended up helping a little old lady cross the street. And the thing is about you, you are most likely telling the truth, huh? And then I had to pick up a cat fight. I tell you, justice is a full-time job. As ridiculous as this sounds, since it's you, it might actually be the case. Was it a fight between cats or a hen? Why are you high again? Because the defendant isn't the culprit and I came to make sure that justice is solved. I don't have any idea what you're talking about. Like always. Fulbright. I always thought you were a bit tossed in the head. But have you finally succumbed? Nope, but it looks like you were succumbed to this phantom of yours. Open your eyes and let the evidence of justice unclothe your judgment. What evidence? Come to think of it, he did say something about finding out some evidence. Yeah, that is true. Thanks, you two. I feel a lot better now that I've been able to get that off myself. I'm going to work extra hard to find that perfect piece of evidence for you. I didn't think he would say your stuff. Well, I know how he is, so I knew he was gonna do it. So what is it, detective? Is it something that will prove Mr. Starbuck innocent? It is indeed. Have a look at this. Okay. Wait, is that the lighter that they bought the song? What's this? A lighter? That's right, a lighter thought to have been used by the culprit, no less. The Space Museum's cleaning robot picked it up. It has the victim Clayton's blood along with his killer's fingerprints on it. What? God! Well, who do the fingerprints belong to? Order! Order! Detective Fulbright, can I assume that the fingerprints don't belong to the defendant? You bet! Mr. Starbuck is totally innocent. This is it. This is just what I needed. Lighter. The lighter found on the floor of the Space Museum. The two culprits' fingerprints are on it in the victim's blood. Lighter added to the court record. Well, let's see then. Your Honor, This is decisive evidence that supports the defense only claim. Let's just see with Onama. Explain yourself, Mr. VI. With pleasure, Your Honor. The culvert is light and was found. Based on that, we can extrapolate that after the killer boarded Mr. Tejane, they escaped with light in hand into the Space Museum. Where they dropped it, the switching of the two launch pads occurred. Then finally, the killer left the two supporting the launch crew and made the escape. Meanwhile, Mr. Starbuck was upon importing launch one after the murder, a fact that the Ectocosmos has testified to. Therefore, Mr. Starbuck could have possibly been the one to drop the lighter there. What not? But the defendant had the free reign of the area until the Ectocosmos appeared. Could he not have dropped the light? Could he not have dropped the lighter in the Space Museum during the span of time? No, I think that was impossible. You'd like that to be true, wouldn't you? But the Ectocosmos testified that right after he saw the mysterious figure with a lighter, he went into the launch and found the unconscious Mr. Starbuck. In other words, Mr. Starbuck won't have had the time to travel back to the museum. No, physical the black wheel. This lighter could only have been dropped by the Yale killer. Most importantly, Mr. Starbuck's fingerprints were nowhere to be found on this lighter. I think you understand what this means, don't you? This piece of evidence unequivocally proves that Mr. Starbuck wasn't a culprit. God! This does indeed appear to be decisive evidence that proves the defense claims. As for the emulsions that was found in Mr. Starbuck's pocket, we can assume it was planted by the killer on the unconscious Mr. Starbuck. Yet that is very safe to assume. No, there must be some mistake. Frankly, Mr. the Blackwell, I've been worried about you. You've been saying it is a phantom for 7 more years. I understand you can see because tomorrow... it's gonna become a cold case tomorrow. I see. So that's why you want it finished today? Fulbright, you promised never to speak of that. Huh? Tomorrow? What about tomorrow? Given the body of evidence, I think it's safe to say the defendant is innocent. In light of the fact that it was impossible for him to have committed a crime, a fair honest word questions remain, so I look forward to seeing what you two uncover. But for now, this court finds the defendant Solomon Starbuck not guilty. Well, that puts some end to this case. And that top-up was nice. Yes, we did it, Mr. White. Looks like we pulled it off somehow. or with some help from Detective Fulbright. But I still don't know if I wanna say it again since we didn't manage to actually figure out who the culprit was. That is still a question up in the air. Mr. White, Miss Sykes, thank you, and please thank Apollo for me too. You all are the best. Oh, I wish we could tell Apollo about Mr. Starbucks waiting right now. Yeah, me too. But that's going to have to wait. Now that our verdict has been used, I'd like to bring today's deal to a close. Got this at the end. Well, there we go. I kinda had a feeling. I did have a feeling that Black Quill was gonna object eventually. So I'm not even surprised. It's too late to object, isn't it? It simply isn't possible. Something's wrong. Mr. Curtis Black Quill, are you dissatisfied with the verdict? Fulbright! What were the results of the fingerprint analysis for the lighter? Huh? The results? Okay, even for you, so was that a long laugh? Oh, well, I was in a hurry, you see, and then there was that cat fight, and well... Oh, please don't tell me! Please don't tell me! I kinda could get away with a whole the pins with Mr. Starbucks, so... You have yet to eat it. Fulbright! Mr. Curtis Blackwell, can you read out who the pin belongs to? Let's see that. Upon two of analysis, the fingerprints were found to belong to Athena Sykes. Excuse me, what? So says the report. What? No, what? Huh? Me? Okay, what the fuck is going on? How did it... Okay, how the fuck did it end up this way all of a sudden? What the actual fuck? Order, I say, order! Mr. Sykes, tell me you have an explanation for this. We just finished proving that this lighter could only belong to the killer. So finding you being solid can only lead us to one cave conclusion. I don't know how they got older, but I know I'm not the culprit. How the fuck did that even happen? This can't be happening. We built up our argument piece by piece, and I don't think any of our reasoning was faulty. So how could it have led to this? Later, evidence found by Detective Fulbright. It has Athena's print on it in the victim's blood. Later updated in the court record. God! What have I done? Please forgive me! I'm sorry! When I thought you was being helpful, you only made it somehow worse. Order! Order! Detective Fulbright, stop you crying! What in the world is happening here? It's like the world's gone mad. Order! Order! I will have order! Oh damn. Okay. Oh, oh see. Okay. Oh. Okay. That was one bit way too high for my theory. My theory didn't like that. I had to be careful because that wasn't good. That wasn't good for my theory. Anyway. Still, what the fuck even is going on now? Confusion spilled into utter chaos. After all with phosphor, the dude had done cruelly on us to accuse Athena of the crimes. Somewhere, somehow, everything had gone terribly wrong. We had stopped over the edge of reason and into the jaws of a twisted darkness. Yeah. Okay. So that's the end of this episode, I see. What a way to end this. Like, oh my god, that I did not expect that. Like, apparently Athena is the killer now. And I don't even see how that is possible since Athena have been with us all the time, and it should have actually been impossible for her to even consider committing that. So very clearly it can't be her, but the decisive evidence tells otherwise. So I don't even know anymore. Honestly, I don't even know anymore. Still. But that's something I can worry about another time since I know, it's a bit on the earlier side, but we finished episode 4, so it is a good time to end the stream now. So, you skim a little bit and I'm just gonna close the game quickly here. Sorry, not sorry. There we go. And now, no. So if you wanna, so I'm just gonna take a little look and see when the next stream will be. Let me see in a little bit här then. So... Oh wait, I forgot it. I never forgot something. I forgot to change the you. Anyway, so the next team will be at the Friday with some tails of gold to steal for. So, oh wait, hang on. In that case, I'm gonna do this already. Alright. There we go. And now, so if you wanna follow me at the social, here you go. And do feel free to join my Discord if you wanna hang out with the community while I'm not streaming. And if you are not subscribed, you can use this 8 message. Otherwise, you can use this one. And now, you scream a little bit and let's see where we shall go for this time here. So let's see what I do feel like going for now. I'm just doing some thinking here. So who do I actually feel like going for this time? That we're gonna find out for ourselves. Who I do feel like going for. Let's see how. Who do I actually feel like going for? So let's see. Let's see as I'm trying to make my decision here. Well, let's just see here. Who do I feel like going for her? We shall see. Let me see her then. Alright. So I do believe I have decided who I want to go for this time. So I believe this time I wanna go for Kavanu. And I'll be seeing you all next time. Good night, Uyatsumi.
Utakasta sätov, entes taas tatklov. Allt on inte det same, monin inte ku. No vai valkalon, juvea på sonon. But all my thoughts overflow with just you. There's truth in my face, cause my heart to yes. Both my strength and weakness guide me piece by piece. If it's me and you, placed in a deal tooth, I won't fail tomorrow that's bent knee. Please believe in the good times that we said. When it was used, you also